There's pockets of poor in St. Louis. We don't know why the poor become poor. We can't judge that. The city, make this clean appearance of downtown and push everything out to the perimeter. You drop what you're doing. If someone's breaking into your house by the back door, you don't paint the front door and make it look even nicer. You drop what you're doing at the front door of your yard and you run to the back door where people are breaking into. My name is Wendell Phillip Berwick. I go by Wendell or Phil. I was named after the abolitionist Wendell Phillips. My profession is arborist, tree care, tree keeper, arborist. Medferd blew up in the city in a positive way about a year ago, a little over a year ago. I saw a real hateful gang sign that just emanated hate, and it was too close to my daughter's house, so I painted a big Medferd on that billboard over the gang tag. And then there was another real vulgar piece of graffiti downtown in South City, and I painted Medford with the biblical verse, "The power of life and death is in the tongue." And people were encouraged. People had a new symbol. It wasn't just a nondescript tag on brick and mortar. It was a character that I developed named Medferd. And I had asked God that his love could come through Medferd. And the love of the Creator has come through Medferd all over the city to whoever sees him. And that is just the best gift, one of the best gifts I've been given. As an advocate for the homeless, it's really been the last few years where my knowledge and my imparting what I could to them has increased. Well, it especially began with this pallet yard. It's filled with men and women, homeless men and women, who come here on Thursdays to hear my friend, who used to be a heroin addict and a gangbanger on the streets, preach. Soulder Inc. Right here north of the arch. I saw him put homeless men and women to work, recycling wood and making pallets. My heart went out. They were living here. He gave me a lower level rock room for my art studio, and I got to know the men and women, the homeless men and women who work in this pallet yard. I've talked to a lot of the homeless, and things are not that easy for them. There's rapid housing going on, but after so many months of this, during the rapid housing, you have to pay for the utilities and some of this other stuff. So the city is trying to get some people into places.
I'm CEO of an organization called Shower to the People. A need that was going unfulfilled amongst a lot of homeless service providers. There's a lot of cots and there's a lot of sandwiches, a lot of blankets, but there's not a whole lot of places that folks can get clean. And when you are regularly unclean, that affects your psyche and your self-esteem and your self-worth. And so we've seen a lot of folks that use our services for 2, 3, maybe 4 months at a time. They've been regularly clean, they get some hope in their bones, and maybe I can take that next step. Yeah, maybe I can take that referral into job training or housing or rehab or you know, whatever next step is for them. So Shower to the People exists really for 3 reasons. One, to restore dignity, to foster hope, and then to empower upward mobility to our friends and neighbors in the streets. And so the way we do that is through hygiene. Through the distribution of hygiene products, and then through our mobile shower truck here. We travel around 4 or 5 days a week around different spots in the city, and folks who are experiencing homelessness or even folks who are in abject poverty are able to use our services for free. They can take a shower, shave, brush their teeth, get a haircut, and so we've seen really some life-changing transformations just from something as simple as hot water and soap. You know, with our organization, we don't use any words like clients or you know, customers, those types of words. We always use friends and neighbors because that's really who they are. I believe any of us, whether you're, you know, in the penthouse or the doghouse, any of us are 3 bad decisions or 3 bad life circumstances happening from being in the exact same position. And so I think one of the fundamental I don't want to say cures, but maybe aids in helping someone along in that process really is community, is family. You know, people, someone like myself, I could go through some hard times and I've got 10 people I could call before I hit the bottom. Some folks only have 1 person. That person lets them down, they're at the bottom. And so I think there's a fundamental lack of family and lack of community in a lot of people's lives, and I think just in poverty in general. And so for organizations like us and even just the general public, creating space and inviting people into your lives, into your homes, into your churches, into your synagogues, into your mosques, so people have that community and that safety net to fall back on.
Not too long ago, the city was after New Life Evangelistic Center to shut it down. I got involved with NLEC. There was no good reason to shut down New Life. There were people strewn out on the sidewalk that weren't allowed in New Life, and they were actually on the property of the very guy that generated a petition to shut down New Life. So Lyda Cruson and Mayor Slay were pretty much on the same page, trying to shut down New Life Evangelistic Christian Center because of a wealthy landowner who owned 23 properties around it and generated a petition to shut it down. Without really realizing that this city has stayed the same for decades. In fact, it's going downhill, going to hell in a handbasket. So my role is to try to get the people to see that we needed a shift in priorities. Larry Rice wanted to release the LRA land bank properties to the poor, to not just to the poor, but to people that had elbow grease and that could rehab some of these houses. The city has them locked down. You have to have all these guarantees and show you got all this money in the bank. That's why only wealthy developers can buy up repossessed properties and sit on it. They just sit on it. They don't go in and rehab them. They just sit on them until they got enough of them, but then the whole community can be made to go somewhere else and everything gets bulldozed. So the area is valueless to the city of St. Louis. It's valueless until they can make everyone go away and bring in a corporation. They try to give them as little as possible for their land and house. They're not generous with what they offer people compared to the multiple millions and billions of tax-abated corporations that are taking over what once was a community. There's thousands of these properties. Not one house, derelict-looking house, would be allowed in the Central West End or in South City of St. Louis. Yet North St. Louis, the city allows all of this desecration to happen. Why? But yeah, when there's abandoned buildings, it adds to crime. That's why I began painting Medferd on butt ugly, abandoned building plywood, so that there'd be some color in a community. And he could be a harbinger of hope on some of these derelict blocks that are just locked down.